All right. Good morning, Internet world, and good morning, Lisa. We are here today with Lisa Clavier from the Cape Council, the interim Charlevoix and Emmett County Cape Council. CAPE stands for Child Abuse Prevention and Education, so she's got a big old long organizational name to follow. Her name's there, but we're here talking to Lisa on our Great Start Community Connections live. And if you pop in and you have questions, put them into the comments there, and I will get them to Lisa. And if you have any comments or you want to share anything about your experiences here, do that as well. We love to hear from you. Um, and my name is Jean Favor. You can see it down there. I am part of the Great Start Collaborative, and it says Parent Coalition, but we're now the Family Coalition. So, Great Start Collaborative and Family Coalition of Charlevoix, Emmett, Northern Antrim counties, and which is great because that's where Lisa's from as well. And so we support families with children 0 through 8, prenatal through 8 actually. And Lisa is here going to talk to us about how the Cape Council helps to reduce child abuse in that same population in our same community. So big welcome and thank you to Lisa for coming and joining me today and sharing her information. Lisa, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, maybe talk about how you came into this role and what led you here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, as you shared with the Cape Council now, I stepped into that role in January. And one of the things that I like to clarify first is Child Abuse Prevention and Education Council is really like all things child safety. So it's a great opportunity to focus on lots of areas for safety that prevent abuse and neglect for children in our communities. So I think letting folks know that that's really our focus helps them to realize that we can be an ally for them. I came into this role in January, so really blessed to have heard about the opportunity and been encouraged to check it out and see if it might be a good fit for me. But I have been doing prevention work in some aspect for over a decade now. So as I think about the work that the Cape Council does, it's really that primary prevention piece that can create the opportunity for strength to happen, to be able to head off so many crises that are potentially in someone's future path. So it aligns completely with who I am as a person, in my belief system, and in all I would like to do and be a part of in my community. So it's really a pleasure to be in this role. And we did just take on Antrim County. That just happened this spring, so super excited for that. As you shared, Emmett and Charlevoix County have worked so closely with Antrim County in so many different areas. They're our friends, they're our neighbors, they're our family. So it's just such a great fit to be able to welcome them into our Cape Council and to be of service to that community as well. It just feels like such a great fit.
And there is Lisa. So for those people who've never heard of a Cape Council, this is a council that you have. They're across the state, right? Like we aren't. This isn't specific to our county. We find them all around the state, right?
Absolutely. So the Cape Council is a subsidiary basically of Children's Trust Michigan, which does offer some funding for all 83 counties. So all counties across the state of Michigan are serviced under the Children's Trust of Michigan, which was formerly Children's Trust Fund of Michigan. So they've had a little name shift. But really, it's all this overarching goal to make sure that our communities as a whole have the opportunity to create more safety from abuse and neglect and some clear guidelines to what that might look like so that we are uniform in our approach and the protective factors that we're using. And we can really start to see how when we're communicating with folks from other communities, if we have a shared common language and a shared common goal and some strategies to get to those goals, it's going to really help us all to create the end goal that we're hoping for, which is more safety for our families.
Which, of course, if anybody's familiar with the collaborative and the family coalition, is exactly the same work we're all doing. So we've got this robust community built up, as we've seen through all of these community connections, all these little pieces and different organizations coming together to really try to strengthen our families. And right before we got on, Lisa and I were talking about the strengthening families, protective factors, and how everything is just kind of brought together here. And so we're really excited to collaborate with the Cape Council. So the Cape Council, what is the council made of? What do you do? Who do we expect to see working on this?
Yeah, so I think one thing that's really great about our council is um, part of our guidelines are bringing in lots of different entities that are already supporting our communities in some way, shape, or form. So when we look at those entities, it's the Great Start Collaborative, it's MDHHS, it's our local hospitals, it's local law enforcement and our local ISDs. It's really an opportunity to bring all of these agencies together to make sure that we're networking and we're looking at what the needs are and how we can meet them. So it's really this conjoined effort, which is, I think, the most supportive approach, because if we are all operating in our own little areas but never communicating, we're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity um, to do better, right? We know that it takes our health department, our local CMH, our our county court systems, our tribal community. We want all of these individuals to come together, talk about what they're seeing, what they're noticing, um, and share their ideas of how we can have the greatest potential positive impact. And then we get to use our collective agencies and our collective thoughts to be able to work together to move forward in that direction.
Wonderful. I love collaborating. That's
Yes.
how we get the work done. So what are some of the things, some of the work? I mean, I know there's projects, and I know a little bit about what comes out of the Cape Council. What are some of the maybe your highlighted work, or what do you do to really educate and prevent child abuse in our areas?
Absolutely. So, one thing that we're probably most known for is that we do offer each spring educational opportunities. So, we offer the Cape Conference. And this is usually an opportunity for agencies or educators who are servicing our families, as well as parents, to be able to come and advance their education on child development and needs of children and how we meet those needs, whether it's social, emotional, um, uh, resilience, even some of the issues that children are facing or families as a whole that impact our children, and how we can work toward that common goal, again, of preventing child abuse and neglect, even though these adverse experiences are going to happen in our community. We can mitigate some of those, but we can't mitigate it all. So we need to look at how do we create resiliency? How do we continue to ask parents to be collaborative and supportive of one another? And what things can we put into play? So the Cape Conference offers that opportunity, and that's offered every spring. So that's always a great opportunity. One of our other major initiatives is the Safe Sleep program. We know that too many children are lost to to infant mortality that can sometimes be a result of a lack of information being in the hands of parents who are doing their best to care for this beautiful little bundle of joy that they get to bring home, but they haven't had the opportunity to learn what the best ways to create safety for them are. So we get to collaborate with our local hospitals to provide sleep sacks for families that are coming home, as well as some information that helps them to understand that placing baby on the back and being in their own bed in a crib instead of co-sleeping, how important and how much safer that can be. And simple things like not having that blanket or other soft items in the baby's crib with them, because sometimes we're worried. I want to make sure they're warm enough. So being able to think about this safe sleep sack as a way to provide warmth for your baby, and doing that in a safe way is an opportunity for us to say, we know you want what's best for your child, and we want to help you. Here's some information that can help, and here's a little item that can also get that ball rolling for you. We also want to recognize that we do spend time each spring in the month of April to recognize Child Abuse Prevention Month. And so there's typically pinwheel gardens that are planted around our community. And that's to remind all of us that we can play a role in safety for our children. And we do that in lots of ways. It might be reporting a concern if we have that, but it's also taking these opportunities to strengthen families and to look at how we strengthen families and being allies to families when they need support. So that's also another major initiative. One other thing that we worked on covering this summer is water safety for our kids. We are blessed to live in one of the most beautiful areas that is surrounded by so much natural resource of water. And we typically do spend time at the beaches, on our rivers, on our lakes, boating, fishing, all of those wonderful things that we want families to be a part of. But we also want to remind them of what some of that safety needs to look like, making sure that someone's paying attention all the time. As adults, a lot of us carry around these distractions, and it's really important that we remember to designate someone who's not going to be distracted while the kids are in the water and who's going to keep that eye close on them. And then even being able to talk about appropriate fitting life jackets and swim lessons for kids. There's lots of different things we can cover, as well as safety from water at home, whether you have a backyard pool or whether it's emptying a 5-gallon bucket that might fill up with water after the rain, kiddie pools. So many different opportunities for us to look at collaborating with parents to share information so that more of our kids can enjoy water in the safest way possible.
Sounds like a lot, Lisa. Um, and I want to put in a plug and an extra commercial for the Cape Conference every spring. It's always amazing. I learn something every single time, and it's also a room full of people who are really interested in helping support families. And so I recommend that. I know it's intimidating to some people to maybe attend an event that they have never been to before, or maybe they feel like they don't belong there because they don't work in early childhood. But I strongly recommend parents, community members, checking that out when it comes around again next spring. And we'd be there to welcome anybody with open arms and support them to encourage them to do that. So I love the
Absolutely.
Cape Conference. So excited every spring.
Thank you. And I think, for anybody who might be intimidated, if you are someone who cares about children, have children in your life in any capacity, this is an opportunity you should look at. And as you shared, this is not just for professionals, it's for everyone. And if we can look at the ability to recognize if we're a person who cares about children, we belong. It's going to go a long way to sharing more information with more individuals, which has a greater impact for our families and our children overall. And that's our goal. We don't want to turn anyone away from an opportunity like this. We want to encourage you to check it out. Check it out and be a part of it, because it takes all of us. Our kids deserve a village of people who care and want to be there and support them and have some skills and tools to be able to do that.
So, which leads me to my next question, which is, if I want to support the Cape Council, or maybe share my experiences or volunteer my time, maybe for sleep bundles, putting things together, whatever it is, boots on the ground work to help our communities educate and prevent child abuse and neglect. Is there any way to do that as maybe a volunteer or a caregiver, a parent? What does that look like?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And I think one of the things for us to be able to share is that probably the most important thing you could do for us is to let people know that the Cape Council exists.
Yeah.
That was something that surprised me as I stepped into this role, that a lot of folks have no idea that we exist, yet we've been a part of this community since 1983. So we certainly want people to know that we're here and some of the work that we're doing, and that we are a teammate and an ally for them as family members or other adults who care about children. But another thing is to consider taking opportunities to educate yourself. That is one of the most important things you can do. And whether that's through the Cape Council or the Great Start Collaborative or through Clio, anything like that, anything you can do to educate yourself is really helping us, because we know you're going to be putting that work into action with the families and children you work with. I will say that if you collaborate with the Cape Council, that you'll have to do a background check. So that would be an important piece of that. And we don't have a ton of opportunities like that, but if you were interested in that, I would encourage you to email me and we could kind of see what the best fit might be. Because certainly we want folks to feel valued and know that there's always something they can do to contribute to the work we're doing. We would just have to kind of look and see what specialty task we might be able to find that would be the best fit for that individual.
Awesome. Yeah, I know there's a lot of work going on, and especially with the expansion to the extra county. I'm sure you're picking up all of that. So looking forward to seeing more Cape support throughout our entire area and what that's going to look like. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about, Lisa, that you wanted to get out there? Um, I think that the conference is such a big one that I think, again, like you said, the best thing you can do is like hop onto the website and share those links and, say, hey, this is a great opportunity, come with me. Maybe just kind of, those little like social commercials that we make for the things
Yes.
that we have. And then the safe sleep, which I think the safe sleep, that project's been going on it's a pretty long running project. So I think a lot of people hopefully are familiar with that at least and recognize that this is, coming at you from Cape and follow for more. And then the Pinwheel campaign, all the recognition you do for individuals in the community doing the work, and then some ways to maybe check in and see how we can help. What else did we miss anything?
Well, and I guess I should share too that you just brought up a great point. At the conference, we take the opportunity to maybe recognize some folks in our community who go above and beyond. So you might even be thinking of an educator or a child care individual or even just a community member who you recognize as someone who advocates for children and just really shines brightly in that area of being a champion for kids. That's something we get to do at the conference too, is to highlight individuals like that in our community. And so on the website, you're able to enter that information when we get closer to the conference.
Okay.
So even be thinking about, who are those people that have been doing this work and are really just going above and beyond. So I think something else I would want to share about the council. I really just think it's a blessing that the council gets to work with so many other great agencies. I think often we don't get to celebrate the alliances that we have. And this really is just a great opportunity in our community to support our families. They need us. We need them. We have got to be a team in our community. And I think that's what I hope parents know that the Cape Council is we are their teammate and we want to be there to support them. And if anybody has any questions about maybe any agency or how they get connected with another agency in the community, we're certainly happy to help facilitate that and, do that soft handoff or that connection with you. If you reach out to us, we're going to do everything we can to get you connected to the resource that will best serve you because you deserve that. And the Cape Council wants to be a part of helping your family to be the strongest it could possibly be.
Beautiful. Lovely. And I think that is one of the blessings of this rural community is we're forced to form these connections. And yep, well, I'll send you, I can't help you with that maybe, but I will send you right to where you need to go. So don't hesitate to reach out to Lisa at the Cape Council and if you like what you hear. So excellent.
Yeah, and I think the only other thing I would want to share is that I this week had the opportunity to become a strengthening families through the protective factors trainer. So I will be looking forward to joining your team and creating some more, hopefully additional opportunities even in our community to offer some of this to both parents and educators and other professionals in the community who want to learn more about the protective factors that we can all embed into our everyday lives to be able to make such significant changes in the lives of our families and children.
Super excited to have you, Lisa. Yay. Well, thank you very much. And if anybody is watching this now or later, I don't see any comments in there, but I see that you're here. So if you have any questions, you can pop them in right now before we sign off. Otherwise, this will be up on our Facebook, and you can watch it and skip ahead from skip through my talk and get right to Lisa's section. And if you're watching this later on our archives, you can always send us a message or send something over to Lisa, and we'd be happy to kind of answer any questions that you have later. So thank you to everybody watching today and in the future. Thank you so much, Lisa, for all the work you do and for sharing it with us here today on the Facebook Live world. You are muted, but there we
My
go.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Lisa. I will see you around. Goodbye,
Sounds
everybody.
great. Take care.